Two Benavides brothers lost in the wilderness on stage 9 in the bikes. The previous day, Kevin had led Luciano home in a 1-2, but this rally was slowly getting away from the reigning Dakar champion and the reigning world champion. With 3 stages to go, Luciano was 49 minutes down and Kevin was 28 off the pace. To his credit though, the KTM man kept pushing. Kevin was just looking to finish after an injury hit 2023. As ever in the bikes, it was an elimination race, with Nacho Cornejo losing ground in the final days despite another stage win. The Chilean unfortunately had an issue with his fuel tank on stages 11 and 12. That dropped him from 4th to 6th place overall. After winning the 48-hour chrono stage, Adrian van Beveren moved to within 10 minutes of the overall lead, but he then lost a bit of time opening on stage 7. The Frenchman continued to perform admirably, but he couldn't quite close the gap on the guys in front. He was, however, heading for a first ever Dakar podium and was once again the quickest man on 2 wheels on stage 9. Ross Branch preparing for the biggest week of his life on a bike, and by the start of stage 8 he trailed the leader Ricky Brabeck by just a single second. The Dakar is all about fine margins. However, Ross lost a bit of time in the camel grass and made some silly navigation errors, allowing Brabeck to increase the gap to over 7 minutes on stage 9.
The pressure's kicking in now for everybody, for sure. It's crunch time, and I would have liked to have been up a little bit closer today, but that's racing. You know, you can't have a perfect day every day.
Well, try telling that to this man. Brabeck just kept powering his way clear at the front, taking his first win of the rally on stage 10 to increase his lead. But after past disappointment, notably in 2019, the American wasn't taking anything for granted.
This is definitely the most stressful race I've ever done in my life. Hey, in the rally, 10 minutes is nothing.
On to the 11th stage, with Branch outpacing some of the local weekend warriors. The Motswana was desperately seeking a chink in Brabeck's armour in the big stones around Alula. But in spite of taking the stage win, he could only put 32 seconds into his rival. It was looking increasingly like he would have to settle for second place overall. Brabeck managing his lead fantastically and using the bonus system to his advantage, taking nearly 6 minutes up at the front. He would go into the short final day leading by over 10 minutes.
I would say it was my best ride of the rally. I made no mistakes today. I put my head down and I got it to the finish.
Let's jump on board with Kevin Benavides for stage 12, the day his reign as Dakar champion came to an end. The Argentine did finish on a high note though, taking the final stage win and moving up to 4th overall. It's a small miracle he was even able to do the Dakar with his injury problems, and it bodes well for the season ahead, even if KTM aren't doing the W2RC. Van Beveren shed a few tears at the finish line as he finally secured a place on the Dakar podium at the 9th time of asking. VBA is living life on the new Honda, and he'll keep pursuing his ultimate dream of winning this rally. Branch resisted the Red Armada throughout this 46th edition, and he was rewarded with the runner-up spot, some improvement on his previous best of 13th. The Kalahari Ferrari says you don't jump on a rally bike to come second, but he was still wearing that trademark grin at the finish line.
On top of the world, you know, it was a really long rally, probably one of the toughest ones I've ever done, but it was awesome. You know, it's so good to race these guys, and it's good to be up here. I'm so happy for the team. You know, they deserve to be up here. They've put a lot of work in, and for such a young team, it's a great result. So super happy to be up here.
In Branch's words, Brabeck didn't put a foot wrong, and the American was a worthy winner of Dakar 24. It's the second time he's won with the number 9, which he says he'll be adopting from now on. This also happens to be his 9th Dakar. Brabeck was brilliant from Alula to Yanbu and becomes the 13th biker to win multiple Dakar titles.
This one I feel like is more earned. This is a lot tougher. You know, in 2020 we had a big gap from the get-go. Here, I think me and Ross spent like 3 days with a couple seconds difference. So it's been a tight race, and 10 minutes is not a big gap here in rally. So it's been tight.
Brabeck winning by 10 minutes 53 from Branch and taking 18 minutes 28 of bonuses. Privateers Stefan Zvitko and Martin Mitchek both finished inside the top 10. Only 5 of the Rally GP finishers are also doing the World Rally Raid Championship. Brabeck leads Branch by 8 points. It was definitely a Dakar that belonged to Honda and Hero.
All of you, yes.
The Rally 2 honours went to Harit Noah. The Sherco TVS factory rider wasn't checking his results throughout the rally, but he'll have been delighted when he finally consulted them. 11th overall and the first Indian to top a Dakar class. It was great for Sherco after they lost Lorenzo Santolino to a mechanical and Rui Gonçalves to injury. Romain Dumontier couldn't quite defend his Rally 2 title after various issues, including running out of fuel in the empty quarter and a broken swing arm. But the Frenchman finished just behind Noah in 12th place overall, and he leads the W2RC standings. Here's how the Rally 2 boys line up after round 1.